Well, Zeder Investments' first half headline earnings per share rose by 25.4% to 74, or rather 7.4 cents, after the company invested a further 469 million rand, of which 353 million rand was for an additional stake in Capespan. Well, we're now joined on the line from Cape Town by Norman Cilliers, who is the chief executive of Zeder Investments. Norman, before we get into your numbers, labour unrest is a topic that spins all around the South African industries, affecting several sectors in the country. However, that hasn't been a negative factor for you. How do you handle it?
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I think the labour situation in South Africa is certainly of concern, but we've been very fortunate. It hasn't affected us directly, even though we do share the concern that it is an issue that needs to be addressed as soon as possible, because I think our country can do so much better if we can all move forward.
Let's take a look at your African expansion projects. I understand that you have a project in Zambia, Chiton, if I'm not mistaken, Chiton Agriculture, which has done exceedingly well. How did that initiative come about?
Yes, Chiton Africa is our commercial grain farming operation in Zambia. It was an opportunity that was presented to us by a fund management company and a group of commercial farmers from Zimbabwe who had a great idea, and we felt that we could back the management team. We got involved last year around about August. It's a company that's in the development phase. We're rapidly developing. We started with 420 hectares under irrigation. We've just reached 4,200 hectares. Operationally, the investment is under control, but it is a primary agricultural venture, so it has got the normal traditional volatility that we will just manage over time.
Norman, that Chiton Properties, or rather agricultural group, sounding like a real success story for Zeder. Would you say you're going to use that as a prototype as you venture into the rest of the African market?
Yes, I think it is a success story, but I would like to caution, we still have the normal challenges and risks associated with these type of investments. So thus far, it is on track. It's still not profitable, but that was expected given the fact that we're developing. It is giving us an opportunity, as you rightly say, to build a great platform. Our knowledge of Zambia and the markets have increased dramatically. We're feeling a lot more comfortable. We're seeing extra deal flow in and around the investment itself, but also in associated industries. So it certainly is a great platform that we can build from.
Norman, I have Levin Gopal of 28E Capital, our market commentator, with us, and he has a question to ask you. Levin?
Hi, Norman. I was just looking at AFGRI. Over the last few days, they've come out with an interesting statement letting us know that they've been the recipients of an offer to buy the ordinary shares at a much higher level. And that would effectively mean a delisting down the way. This is a perfect opportunity for Zeder if they were to look at replacing that portfolio selection. A number of traders would be looking to fill that gap. So it's probably an opportunity for Zeder to be on an expansionary phase. I also think that the capital would be available. I wonder if Norman would care to comment on any expansion or the thinking that Zeder might replace that portfolio selection of AFGRI.
Yes, thank you very much. I certainly would caution and would not like to comment on that particular transaction because I don't have much knowledge of it. What I can comment on is just what we've seen in the press, and that's that an offer has been submitted. From a Zeder point of view, we look at opportunities on an ongoing basis, and we think there is room in the industry for a certain level of consolidation, but also for growth outside of South Africa. So if your question is whether Zeder would actively seek out opportunities and look for further investments in that space, the answer is certainly yes.
Speaking about those opportunities, we're also well aware that Norman, that Zeder has let go of certain assets, in particular selling off its stake in NWK as well as Saidfest. What were the reasons behind that?
I have to be honest with you, both of those transactions were quite friendly, and they each had their own reasons. In a nutshell, the role that Zeder could play in both those companies probably had reached its end, and we had minority interests. The companies themselves had certain strategic objectives which they were trying to achieve, and which weren't necessarily aligned with Zeder's strategy. They were friendly transactions. We enjoyed being shareholders in those companies, and we wish them all very well.